the lack of jobs. Can you be an entrepreneur and can you be successful as a business owner in Kenya? That's what I want us to focus on today. And I'm joined by an entrepreneur who is a business owner in Kenya as well. Her name is Dana Moige. She is the CEO of Bidhive. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. You look lovely today.
Thank you, you too.
Karibu, Asante. So, Diana Kwanza, you have been running Bidhive. You started it by yourself, and you have been doing it for a few years now. So, I want us to get into how to do a successful business. How can you ensure that if you have a business plan, you execute it and you make sure that your business is successful? Do you even think it's possible for you to run a successful business? Is it something that can be done in this day and time? So go on our social media platforms. We've asked you a question. Do you think the youth can run successful businesses in Kenya today? Do you think the youth in Kenya can run successful businesses? That is our question today on the social media platforms. Go on our platforms at Y254 and let us know your responses, because so many people are talking about being entrepreneurs. So many new industries are coming up, and we want to find out, is it viable to run a successful business? Is it even possible for you to start a business in this day and time in Kenya and make it a success? So I want us to get into the nitty-gritty of this. And this was informed by some research that we did, and we had some information from the World Law Group that published an article earlier this year in June of 18th, 2024. And they said that Kenya has been growing, the economic sector in Kenya has been growing by 5% between 2010 and 2019. And according to their research, it is one of the countries that rebounded very, very fast after the COVID-19 pandemic. So it can be maintained by increasing growth, increasing private investment, and productivity. And also, Kenya hosted an economic forum, the Africa Energy Forum, last year, and it set Kenya apart as one of the leading countries that are making changes in times of climate change, environmental awareness, and the fact that even 90% of our electricity comes from renewable sources of energy. So we want to find out, can we merge these two things? Can we talk about climate change? Can we talk about renewable energy? And can we also merge that with the entrepreneurship sector? Because there are so many platforms, there's so many organizations, including the Kenya Industry and Entrepreneurship Project that was launched, and it's going up until this year, 2024, that these are some of the things that have been coming up to encourage entrepreneurs, to encourage people to get into the industry, start businesses, and even create opportunities. So I want us to get into the nitty-gritty of this and really find out what are some of the things that you need for you to run a successful business. So Diana, let me start by asking, how long have you been in business for?
We started back in 2021. So we just turned 2 last month. Yeah, it's been 2 years since we started this marvelous and magical journey. Sorry.
Yeah. And can you tell us about Bidhive? What is Bidhive? Because one of your bags, you're here with it today, and it's really, really beautiful. But tell us, what is Bidhive? What is the concept? What went into the planning of the entire brand?
Okay, so for when we started Bidhive, it was purely just making beaded bags, but we are transitioning to making beaded accessories. So for us, we're just embracing the beaded nature of items and also incorporating art in it. Yeah, so that's majorly what we're focusing on, just beads and creating pieces using beads while incorporating art, and also stepping into the fashion industry with art in it.
And it's so creative. When you think about beads, you automatically probably think about accessories, you think about necklaces, bracelets, stuff like that. I wouldn't think about a bag automatically. And I think most of our audience is also surprised by, how do you make a bag from beads? So what went into that conceptualization?
Okay, for me, I'm always I'm always interested in style and art. So how can I put them together? So I saw beads as a means to create something, and bags was what I came up with first. So for example, for this one, you see we've incorporated the piano inside of it, and still you can carry it as an accessory. So art and style morphed together to
make that.
Yeah.
And that's so beautiful. It's so creative in the sense that you've taken something that most people wouldn't think about. First, you've taken beads. Secondly, you've made very intricate designs.
Yeah.
You've done pianos, you've done flames, you've done a butterfly. These are things that are there in our present day-to-day lives,
Exactly.
but someone wouldn't think about making that into a bag.
True.
So how did you start? When did you feel like you should start? When did you feel like this was the right time for me to do this? How did you launch, and what went into that?
Actually, I had the idea back in 2020, and I was just pushing it because I was always scared. You don't know, like, something has never been done before, so you're like, how do I start? How do I even get into this business? And after my birthday, that's when I actually decided, okay, I need to do this. I don't know how I'll do it. I'll just do it. So I didn't have a plan. I just said, let me make a bag, launch it, tell my friends, post it on Instagram, and that's how we started. I didn't have a clear plan on how to.
You just did it.
I just did it scared.
Yeah. And I think that's the one advice that most entrepreneurs tell people. Start scared.
Yeah.
Start without a clear plan. Start without the finances and the capital and everything.
True.
How did you gain the courage? Did you have a very strong support system? Did you have a mentor? Did you have someone you were looking up to in the industry that you felt like, if this person can do it, so can I?
There weren't many businesses of like who made beaded bags in Kenya. Mostly they're in Nigeria. So I can't say I had someone to like look up to, but I had a life coach who actually pushed me to do it, regardless of whether I know what I'm doing or not. Because the bag I made before and what I'm making now are totally different products. Yeah.
So it's something that you felt like there was a gap.
There was a gap, yeah.
In the market. And is that important to factor in when you're starting a business?
Yeah, okay, yes and no. Because sometimes, mostly yes. Let me just say yes. Because if you notice a gap in the market and you know how you can fill it, then you can do it. You know, so it's important because, of course, yes, the market can be saturated, but there's always something missing. And if you know what is missing and you know how you can bring it out there, then just do it.
And I like that you've said that. You've brought up a very important point about the market being saturated. And that's one thing people talk about. Like, everything that you can do has already been done.
Yeah.
But there's an aspect of you bringing your own unique touch. Because as much as there are other people who are probably doing the same thing, they're not doing it exactly as you're doing it.
Is you.
Yeah. So how can you tap into that? How can you ensure that you're authentic in whatever business that you start?
Stay true to yourself. Have a goal and follow it. Just maintaining your authenticity will set you apart. Yeah.
And you've also talked about having a life coach. Did that help in the process of you being an entrepreneur and everything?
Yeah, it did, because I didn't know what I was doing in life. So having a life coach actually gave me a clear vision of what I wanted, what I was like envisioning my future to be. And the fact that she actually pushed me and told me, do it scared. No one knows what they're doing in this life. So like, just do it scared, and I did it, and here we are.
Yeah.
It's very important, actually.
Yeah.
Some people maybe think having a life coach, you need to be like 30s, nini, but anyone can have a life coach, and it will make a difference in your life, actually.
And what's a life coach? Like, there's a life coach who are listening to you and they wonder, "Aya, kwani ni mtu anakufunza venye you do life or something?" Like, what is a life coach?
A life coach, okay, for me, it was someone who would help me actually know what I wanted, because I know most people don't know what they're doing in life.
Yeah.
So a life coach will push you towards realizing what you want and actually finding what you're looking for inside of you, and actually knowing that it's all inside of you, instead of actually looking for someone or somewhere outside to help you. It's within you. So a life coach brings it out and like mentors you and gives you steps on how to achieve it.
So it's like a merge between a mentor and a
And-
therapist. Like somewhere in between. And I feel like personally, maybe I also need a life coach because you know what you've said is so true because so many people, even our parents and people who are older than us, they're not 100% sure of what they're doing.
True.
Because you do life day at
You just
take
wake
it
up.
day by day.
Yeah.
So there are people who probably because of the experience and because of the maturity and all that, they're informed, but it doesn't mean they know exactly what they're doing.
True.
So having someone to guide you makes it better. And another thing you said, you came up with the idea back in 2020. That was time ya pandemic. That was like people were in
Yeah,
crisis mode. Was that what pushed you to thinking about an idea of business, or is it just circumstances around you that made you think I need to do something, I need to start a business, I need to create something for myself?
Yeah, okay. So for me, I was in corporate before I started this. And nothing against corporate, but I just realized it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I wanted to do things on my own terms and have my own schedule and like just be the one in control instead of like waking up. You know, it can be so monotonous and sometimes you find yourself falling into depression because you don't have a sense of direction. I'm not saying people in corporate don't, but I felt that's how I felt, and I was like, I need to do something for myself, and business is what led me to this now. Yeah.
And what you've said is, I think it rings true for most people, particularly Gen Zs. The routine of 9 to 5
Yeah.
and the fact that you think about, oh my God, I'm waking up to make money for someone else.
Exactly.
It makes you feel like, no, I need to be doing something. And most people opt for content creation because I think that's the easiest thing, or people assume it's the easiest path to take because as long as you have a smartphone, you have a digital account, that's it. But you opted for something else, still in the creative space, but something that's true to yourself.
Yeah.
Were you always in love with bags? Is it because you grew up loving bags, or were you just watching bags all along? What made you think and say, I want to make bags from beads?
Okay, I was always a crafty creative. I love doing things with my hands, and I didn't see anyone making the bags actually with beads. People use leather and Ankara materials, but for me, I felt bags really morph into someone's style, and incorporating art in it, that's just enough. Yeah.
Which it's something that you had to find. First it was a passion, then it was a gap in the industry, and then you had to find a unique way of filling that gap.
Yeah.
Did you have a business plan? Did you sit down, write a business plan? Ama ulianza tu kienyeji?
I didn't have it.
Yeah.
I just knew, buy beads, create the bags, post them, that's that. I didn't have an actual business plan, but with time I realized that is actually very important because you need to have a direction to follow. You can't just do anything like that. Yeah. So like for me, ilianza kienyeji, but now
and you know that's also part of the doing it scared because you do it without a plan. You just ni kama una learn on the job.
Yeah, actually I was learning on the job. Even making the bags themselves, if you see the first bag I made.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
so
God,
interested
disaster.
in seeing the first design. Maybe try to encourage.
Yeah, because it was a disaster, but you go like learning, and anytime you make another bag, you realize, oh, I can do this, and then you
improve in time. And I think that's an important thing to highlight because most people assume you have to be perfect from the very get-go. You have to get it right from the very first design. But you fine-tune through time. And that's another thing that people think about when you say an overnight success. They just assume you woke up for real and you blew up out of nowhere. But they don't think about the work that goes into the sleepless nights, the designing, the creativity, and all that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the money. What was your starting capital for the very first time when you were starting? Did you have a budget? Did you just go blindly? Ama, what were you thinking of back then?
Again, ilikuwa tu kienyeji, so I started blindly, but then I was still in corporate, so I had saved some money and used it. And as I went, I was like, this is needed, this is needed, this is needed. So like total of everything was like 20,000, but I didn't like have like, this is 20,000, I need to do this. I was just taking money from my savings like that until I had something to start off with. and then we went.
Ndokaendelea.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that people think about, and they wonder, how can I start if I don't have money? How can I
Yeah.
start if I don't have a plan? But you've also mentioned having some savings. So it helps if you have some money somewhere in an account somewhere, or some support, so that
Yeah.
you, as you're getting stuff, because you realize that maybe I don't have this, maybe I need this, perhaps I need to pay this person and do all these other things. It helps to have some capital somewhere.
Yeah.
What about an investor?
Investment is actually a better option than saving. And now I
Yeah.
noticed you can invest with as little as 1,000 shillings. So you can just start from there. If you feel like you're interested in having a business, you can maybe start investing, and then as your money accrues interest and you already set up time plan, and you actually have time to plan during this period,
Yeah.
then you can now have something to go with when you
So
open
from
your
the
business.
profits of
Yeah.
your investment.
Yeah.
And I think that's a safer thing to do, because we've been talking about investments, different places, different portfolios that you can put your money into. And what you're saying is very sound advice.
Yeah.
If you put some money into savings, even 1,000, alafu inapata interest,
Yeah.
you give yourself 5 months, then you use the interest to start your business.
Yeah.
So then you're not really using your money. It's money that's been made by your money.
Exactly.
Alafu, there's some sort of security appear with that.
Yeah, true.
Would you advise someone to take out a loan to start a business?
Okay. It depends. It depends
You're Diana,
because
I'm a meditate.
I'm not for taking loans personally. I don't see myself taking loans, but there's some good loans, and you cannot taking a loan and maybe taking a loan and going out with your friends. Okay, that's yeah. But if you're taking a loan and you actually believe in your business and you start your business and push, then that's good, that's okay. Because sometimes you don't have the funds right now, but you believe in the business, you believe in what you're doing. Yeah, take the loan and use it wisely. See, at least you take a loan and then
Unaenda sherehe.
yeah,
Ati
or
launch party.
yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm not a loan person, but it's advisable for someone to take it if you don't have the funds and you feel like the need to start the business right now, and and you believe it can actually bring some fruits with it, then that's okay.
Yeah. So it depends on your responsibility.
depends.
It
Yeah.
depends on how you're planning. Because there are people who are not even financially mature enough to handle some levels of finances. Yeah. And it's reminded me of there's this series that I've been watching of some ladies who started a cupcake business. And they were funding it because they were waitresses and they were using tips to just fund this business and do it on the side.
Yeah.
Would you advise someone, because you've talked about your personal journey, you weren't into the whole corporate space,
Yeah.
and so many people resonate with that. Would you advise someone to quit their job, start your business, or would you advise them to perhaps go through a few months of your job as your business stabilizes, then you can lean into this as the sole source of income that you have?
Yeah, you can just quit your job and just start your business like that. You need a plan.
Yeah.
You need a plan because business itakuonyesha mambo.
Yeah.
So like you need a plan. You can just choose to take maybe a year while still funding your business and then quit after. Just find some stability and then now pursue it, because you'll quit your job, yes, and then you start your business, then God forbid something goes wrong, then what do you do next? And maybe you
Yeah.
took a loan, what do you do next? Yeah. So I prefer or I advise someone to actually take the time, plan, have a way forward, and then now they can maybe make that decision to quit or do the business while still working, because that's also possible. Yeah.
And now when we talk about the government has been trying to come up with different initiatives, like even there's the Uwezo Fund that calls for people in groups and chamas to come together, and then you can get a soft loan. And like we're talking about the Kenya Industry and Entrepreneurship Fund, the project. Would you advise someone, or did you even consider some of this government funding when you were starting or while you were still in the process of doing your business? Did it ever come to your mind, or did you not have the
even.
information?
I didn't even have that information. It
Yeah.
didn't come to mind, not even. Yeah.
So how do you think it can be made more open, because I believe there's so many good grants and opportunities out there, but not many people are aware of them. You have to go to like your constituency, maybe to the government offices for you to find out about these opportunities.
Yeah.
Right now where you're at, would you consider government funding, or would you consider applying for one of the grants so that you can be able to add value?
Of course, because I have a vision to expand and even have a physical store, because we are purely a business, an online business. So yeah, I'd really consider it, and I feel like they need to spread the awareness, make people aware of whatever they're offering, because I believe not so many people know that.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see some of them are running, like the KIEP has been running for years, since 2018, and it's ending this year. And people weren't aware of that. So perhaps we can do more to inform people, create awareness.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, as we're progressing with this conversation, I want to find out from you. Give me your examples. Give me your experiences. Do you think the youth can run successful businesses in Kenya? That's the question we're asking. Have you ever tried business? Ishai Kuramba. Like, tell us, like, any small thing that you've tried, even if it's selling pin pops and sweets back in high school. You know, tell us on our social media platforms at Y254. We will sample the comments later on. And that's just reminded me, as I was saying, that there was a lady who used to sell pin pops when I was in high school. And now that I think about it, really alikuwa na akili ya entrepreneur sana.
Because I used to sell biscuits.
So do you think it starts from there? Do you need to have like an experience when you were younger so that it adds value? Or unafikiria tu mtu anaweza kuwa wewe ulikuwa tu unaishingi tu una vibe, and then did it add any value? The experience you used to have back then, did it add value now as an entrepreneur?
A bit. Not too much, because I didn't know what it was. I mean, I was like, I just need more extra pocket money.
I just need pocket money.
That was that. I didn't have a vision that I need to have a business like this. You know, it's just pocket money, and I use that pocket money to sustain myself, and that was that. Yeah, but for some people, I feel like sometimes they find their passion later on. They might not have been interested in business at all, but later on they're like, okay, I can do this, and then they do it. So you don't have to have like a prior experience. As long as you're passionate about it, that's good.
And even in terms of business studies, did you study business studies?
I did home science.
So at least you want to skills zilienda wapi?
Yeah.
Because people assume you need to have some background. You have to have studied business or even economics or something. Did you do that even in university at any point?
As a unit?
Yeah.
But I didn't major on it. Yeah.
Okay, so you had some history. What did you major in?
I did project management. Yeah, so like macroeconomics was just a unit there for a semester. Yeah, so it didn't even...
It wasn't like economics, pro max. But does what you studied, does project management add any value in your business? Do you apply some of the skills that you learned, or some of the theories, something? Does it add value to your business?
When you're designing a bag, or like when you're creating a new product, that's a project in itself, because you have to have a plan and see how you can execute it, because a new bag requires new materials and time, and you need to actually specify time outside your business itself. So it's a project in itself. Yeah, I had some bits of experience, not too much, but some bits of experience with the business. Yeah, with the project management, sorry.
And that's a very fascinating way to look at it. And now that I think about it, there's so many things that can be termed as projects. What are some tips that you'd give someone when it comes to managing whatever? Because let's think about someone who wants to start a smoky business. Iyo sasa ana manage aje. What are some skills that you'll apply from project management when it comes to that?
They should have a clear plan, and they should do some background. Like, they should actually get the knowledge on how to run it, find maybe the location to... Like, they have to actually have a clear plan on how to start it. And then, I'm not well versed in the smoking business.
OMG, I hope your lecturer is watching. And it's so funny because so many people studied one thing in school and they do a completely different thing.
Yeah.
So is it possible to find some things that, because now I used to discredit chemistry. I'm so mwalimu wa chem, sorry. I used to wonder, sasa chemistry ita apply aje kwa hii maisha yangu. Right now, funny enough, what I'm doing, like a side thing that I'm doing, involves chemistry. And I have to look at chemical formulation and all these things and then, you know, figure out the balances and everything. So can we find a way to integrate what we've been learning? Like, the people are talking about like math. Tulikuwa tunachukia math.
Yeah.
But as a business owner, you have to have some of these skills. So does it apply? Can we make whatever we studied for, even if we're in a completely different field, can we translate that information?
Yeah, you can, because like for example, math is involved in everything. That's a fact. Even when making the bags and getting the measurements right and knowing what to add and what not to, math is involved. You know, so like when it comes to maybe home science, if you're starting a cooking business, then you have to implement that. So you can implement whatever you learned in whatever you do, as long as you just focus. Yeah.
It reminds me, there's this one term I have never forgotten. Miter the corners. Kulikuwa na term ingine home science. And you have to miter the corners of the... I used to find it so funny because that term was so funny. Right now, nikitandika kitanda, I'm like, hey, yo. And it comes through.
Yeah.
So one way or another, this knowledge applies. So would you then say that the system that we have been taught, because now the education system is different and it's more applied as opposed to theory. Na si tulipata theory heavy. Do you think it added value? Your system yenye tulikuwa nayo, because so many people discredit it, but did it add any value into who we are right now, or has it added any value into who you are? Yeah,
to some extent, yes. Though I feel that they should have executed it better. Yeah, because some things, yes, they haven't applied, but then I see them being applied when it comes to kuchambua, these things like the bill nini, that is Kiswahili. But yeah, it helped. And at the same time, it didn't. So I can say yes and no. Something should be done, should have been done better. Yeah, I can't speak for this system. I'm not familiar with it like that. But yeah.
But what do you think can be added into the system? What do you think you wished you learned back then, especially now when you're running your own businesses and then you have to figure out maybe procurement, you have to figure out taxes,
financial education.
Yeah.
We should have been taught that. Even to the taxes, like how to handle money, being financially smart, they should have actually focused on that more. Yeah, because most of us don't know these things. We actually come to learn it after school, and you have to actually be intentional in teaching yourself or finding someone to teach you. And I'm glad that social media has some people who are actually teaching us now. Yeah, but they should have, and they should still implement it in the current educational system.
Yeah, and you've mentioned learning some things from social media. So I'm wondering if you have like an issue and you have to figure out how to file this tax. Where is the first place that you go to seek information about anything that you need?
Okay, I don't have a specific, but YouTube University, TikTok, like those are the major ones that I can say. Because for example, for the bags, I used YouTube to like learn. And then when it comes to finances, I follow some people on social media, especially Instagram, and they talk about it. There are people who also share their journeys when it comes to financial independence, and you can actually learn from them because they had to make some previous mistakes, and now they're actually teaching you so that you don't make the same mistakes through social media. So something we didn't learn in school, you can now find it for free on social media. You just have to look.
And you have to be intentional, as you said. You have to consciously want to learn and find out more. So then that means you have to be cautious or also intentional about the people that you're following and the content that you're consuming. Because what would you advise our younger audience? Because the people who say maybe wako on break from high school, wana follow tu kila mtu wako like, huyu ako na gari, follow. Huyu ameenda sijapi, follow. Huyu ametumia follow. What would you tell someone who's not intentional about the people they follow and the media they consume?
Be conscious of what you want. As long as you've identified what you want for yourself, find ways to associate or integrate yourself with people who are in that space so that you can learn from them. Let's say if you want to be an entrepreneur, follow people who are already majoring or booming in their spaces so that you can learn from them instead of like, okay, the latest TikTok dance. Yeah. I'm not saying don't dance, please.
Yeah.
But yeah,
just be intentional.
Yeah, be intentional and find the people in your niche, and then you can just go from there.
Yeah, because the truth is we are what we consume.
Exactly.
And that also applies to the media, the music, the movies, all these things that we probably don't think about too much.
Yeah.
They influence us. Let's get into the mental health of a business owner. Because people assume, the way you talked about wanting to leave the corporate space, the corporate space can be very stressful for some people because it's very rigid, there are rules, there are all these regulations. You can get into depression. But does that mean on the counter side as a business owner, you're just like spinning like a ballerina and living your best life?
Not even close. You can be like, for someone who wants to get into business, just be ready. Be ready because you'll cry. You will cry. It will, like, sometimes you get into depression while still running your business. You know, some business has highs and lows, and the highs are high and the lows are like really low.
Yeah.
So like you need to actually be ready. And mental health, sometimes you just need to be aware and intentional. Don't just focus too much on the business and like push yourself aside, because sometimes there's burnout and you find yourself not liking whatever you're doing. Because for me, it happened earlier this year. I didn't like whatever I was doing. I didn't like making the bags. I hated it because like I did it too much and didn't concentrate on myself. So it actually affected me, and I had to actually take a step back, see what I needed to do, see where the problem was, address it, and now find ways to act different and counter it. Yeah, so when it comes to business, your mental health, character development, itakupiga vibaya sana.
And I think it's particularly true because of the times that we are in.
Exactly.
There's so much uncertainty. Kuna time yenye pia dola ilikuwa juu kabisa, the Kenyan shilling was like, the value was low. People weren't buying as much because of, you know, watu wanaogopa wako like, your spending power pia imepunguka. So there are so many things that go into you as a businesswoman. But you have a life coach. Do you also have a therapist?
Yes.
Yeah. Lazima.
Lazima. Actually, yeah. I feel like I advocate for people to go for therapy, even whether you feel like your life is going okay. Talk to someone. Yeah, talk to someone. It is very necessary.
Unaweza kuwa unajipima.
Unadhani uko sawa kumbe unachi.
Yeah, that's so funny. But that's so real as well. And I like the conversation, how we've started. Because there's so many people who are thinking about getting into businesses. So many people want to do that and get into entrepreneurship. The question I'm asking you on social media is, do you think it's very possible for Kenyan youth to run a successful business? Let us know at our platforms, on our platforms at Y254. We will sample the comments as we come back. We want to find out, do you have any experience as an entrepreneur? Have you tried business before? Do you think it's possible to run a successful business, particularly in Kenya in this day and time? Let us know your experiences, your comments, and everything. We will sample that. Let's take a very short break, and then we will come back with more on this conversation.
Y254. Imagine.
This Saturday on the E-Circuit, find out what YouTube series Disco Matanga is all about.
Mwili. Mimi nikabebe mwili saka.
Tunafika Mtaya Emba kucheki Nganya of the Week Matrix. Pia tunakushow some tech reviews from our content maestros.
Soon, you could now breathe live into your video using TextBox. This is called Sora.
Playlist tunaanguka nayo the Kenyan way kama kawa.
Nigeni chape 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 nisetie ni shande shande.
Selfies piga kwa wingi cause you know we love seeing our fans. Show itaweza mbaya, so weka reminder ya Saturday 9 a.m. ndio usihate chochote with your favorite duo, myself, Eve Nyaga and DJ Hariso.
Money me a look where you there, me cause problems.
It's art, it's culture, it's fun, it's attitude. We sample some of the best artistic works locally and beyond our borders. Oh, and don't get me started on the cultural events. Music, dance, fine art, culinary arts, and much, much more. You name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki. Please join me each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on Y254 channel.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Why in the Morning,
where we talk entrepreneurship and finance with ultimate risk takers and game changers.
Give you insightful career advice.
Discuss women making an impact in the society,
as well as issues affecting men.
Health matters affecting the
youth and politics,
technology,
not forgetting music and lifestyle,
and getting up close and personal with your favorite stars.
So make sure umetrosanyika na sisi.
Usanyika.
Ishenye amesema.
Every weekday morning.
From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
I start by in the morning.
Hosa tekenywe.
Y254. Imagine.
Thank you so much for sticking to Y254 once again. My name is Cheryl Blessing and you are watching the Power Talk Show. Now we took a very short break, but before that we were discussing how to run a successful business, particularly in Kenya. And the question we asked you on social media is, do you think the youth can run a successful business in Kenya? That's what we wanted to find out from you. Have you ever tried business? Have you ever experimented? Do you think it's possible? Can you sustain a business in Kenya, particularly in this day and time? Because so many people are talking about branching off, becoming entrepreneurs. So go on our platforms at Y254 and let us know what your experience is, what your comment is, what your opinion is on this subject. Now we were having a conversation with Diana Moige, who is the CEO of BidHive. And you've told us you've given us a very interesting journey of how you started. And I think one thing that has stood out for me is you had faith in yourself. You had faith in what you were doing. So how important is that when it comes to doing a business? Because we just mentioned that the industry is very competitive. There are so many things that have already been done. So you have to have a unique way of doing it. But how do you maintain the faith through the highs and the lows and the economic challenges and everything?
Just know your why. Know why you're doing it, and the vision you have for it. Be as delusional as you can be. If you want to hit the international waters, it's okay. It's okay. As long as you believe in it, in your business, and you're working towards the goal you have for yourself, that's all that matters. Just know your why.
know why you started. And another thing that's also very unique about your journey is you're in the creative space, you're in the fashion space, but you're doing something different. You're doing something unique.
Yeah.
And so many people, when they get into those spaces, they think about fashion design. Kwanza inananga Ankara prints, na the Masai prints, mambo ni mawili. Or with the creative space, people get into content creation.
Yeah.
You went into something completely different. You found out kuna gap in the market.
Yeah.
How important is that? Because you just mentioned it briefly when we were starting, but how important was it for you to fill the gap of these bags, they're not beaded, at least not in East Africa, and how can I feel that? Was there a demand from your friends? Did someone bring it up? Did you ever think about, I want to go to this event, I want to wear this unique bag, but I can't find it in East Africa? Is there anything like that that happened to make you inspired to do what you do?
Yeah, I wanted it for myself. No one actually came to me and told me, oh, I need this and this. No, not really. I just wanted it for myself. And I wanted something I can carry and wear. So that's how it started. I didn't like have a need for like from someone. I just noticed it's not here, and why can't I do it? So let me just start off and incorporate art in it, make it fun, carry a butterfly, carry a piano, carry lips, you know.
Something unique. And I love that because you see the industry today, watu wengi wanakuanga Pinterest. Pinterest no means style ya watu wengi. And they're usually unique pieces there. They're very organic, unique, sustainable pieces, and you brought that to life. And in terms of sustainability, the materials that you use, beads, these are things that probably we would discard in the past. Like necklace, bracelet, alafu once you're done with it, you discard it. But you found a unique way of making beads into a bag. So it also ties into environmental sustainability. When you were starting, was that in your mind?
Not even.
Yeah.
As I didn't have a plan. Me, I was just making beads, something unique, something no one has for me, and also I can make it into a business. So that's that. I didn't even think about environmental sustainability and whatnot. No, I didn't.
And now that you have it in mind, does it make you want to do more of that? Because you just talked about wanting to expand and get into accessories and stuff like that. And your page is so unique. The bags you have, they're so unique. We have one of the samples here. It's a piano. Na imematch na outfit yako, by the way. Ume-coordinate. Uko like, mimi ni stylist pia. It's such a unique piece. Does it make you want to do more now that you've realized you're doing something to help the environment?
Yeah, I do, because now I want to create clothing pieces using beads. So we're looking forward to creating magic
doing
with that.
Yeah, because now I love it. And guys, look at that. That's such a beautiful piece. Ukitengeneza nguo unitumie wa kwanza.
Say less.
Guys, because that's so beautiful. It's a piano. The beads are very intricate. And you can even see that it's very spacious. You know, most ladies' bags, if it's really cute, it's a tiny thing. Haiwezi toshea simu.
Essentials.
Yeah. So is that another thing you factored in? Because when we look at the fashion industry, most ladies are not really considered. That's why our outfits barely have pockets.
Exactly.
You have to buy another accessory or something. Was that something that you had in mind? You had to consider, it has to fit my phone, my card, my lip gloss.
Anytime I make a bag, I have to measure with my phone. Does it fit the phone? Does it fit the inhaler? Does it fit the essentials? Okay, it does, sawa.
Yeah. And that's very important because sasa hapo inaturudisha kwa math.
Tunarudi hesabu. It doesn't fit. Let's redo it.
Yeah. Because I've seen some of your other pieces, and if our viewers go on your socials, they can find some of the other unique bags that you have. You have lips, you have a butterfly, and you have all these unique pieces. So does that go into every single design? Because when you're drawing like lips, ulieka pia simu hapo ukasema sawa wacha nizungushe huku around or something.
I did, because I actually made the base first and I was like, this looks good. Then I tried with the phone, doesn't fit, so you have to remove it all and start again and create another design, because once you increase the size pia lazima the design has to change. So I had to consider that in every design I make.
And I like that you've given us your example here. You had to take down the whole design because ulikuwa ushafanya umemaliza
Mimi
kila
niko
kitu
sawa.
alafu all of a sudden you have to go back to square one.
Mm.
Most people do not like failure. Most people do not like situations like that where they feel like I didn't do it well enough, I'm not good enough for this. But those are some things that you face as a business owner day in, day out. How do you handle situations like that?
Just ask yourself, how can I do it better? Because the solution is within yourself. You notice the problem, you can actually find the solution. No matter how long it takes, no matter how many times you have to do it, you can always find a better way to go about things.
Yeah. So the answer is always within you. I love that because the business is curated by you. You're the one who knows what you want to do. And now, what would you encourage a young lady, perhaps who's looking at this, and the bag is so intricate, ako like, wow, mimi nitawaiweza.
Nitaweza. Yeah.
What would you tell a young lady, a young gentleman who wants to get into something creative, but they're not sure if they're good enough? Ama uko na imposter syndrome. Because there are people who feel like, uko sure na qualify, uko sure I'm good enough for this. What would you advise them?
Don't wait till you're perfect. Because everyone who's a legend at whatever they're doing, they were an amateur before. They didn't know what they were doing. So just start. Just do it. And if you're overthinking on what people think or how people will perceive whatever you're doing, you'll find your people. Your people are out there, you'll find them. Some people may not like what you're doing, but just stay true to whatever you're creating and your craft, and your people will find you.
I like that. So it's just about being authentic and staying true to yourself. How long did it take for you to sell your first bag? Or make your first profit, rather? How long did it take for you to make your first profit?
I think it took me 3 months. Yeah, but for selling it was a way. Because, you know, when you tell your friends and they're like so hyped, they want to support you. And then silence. It took me like 3 months to actually get some profit from the business. Alafu, we went from there.
And that's another thing that you've brought about that's important. So many people, I came across a post that was saying, Ati, when you're about to start a business and you say, oh my God, I have so many friends, I'm going to make sales. But people say your friends are not your customers.
Yeah, true.
They're not your primary customers. They're not your primary target audience. What would you say to that? Do you think you should start with your base of friends? Ama should you just focus on strangers? Because most people say strangers buy more than your friends. Ama should you even take offense when your friends don't purchase you?
No, you shouldn't be offended because like your friends maybe have a different interest or preference for something. Someone may see my bag and they're like, that's not for me. I'm interested in something else. That's okay. And when you're starting, I can't say like focus on your friends and focus on the strangers. Just do it. If your friends are interested, they'll speak about you. And then once the strangers, because you know social media, you can reach anyone. It's not usually focused on your friends. Whoever you reach, if they like it, they'll actually come to you. So don't go there specifically for my friends or for the you just do it. Again, your people will find you.
Yeah, be authentic and then your target audience will eventually locate you and purchase and be loyal clients. Now, we'll get into the market very shortly, but let me sample some of the comments you've shared. And the question we were asking is, do you think the Kenyan youth can run successful businesses? So this is from Facebook. We have Paul Silu, who's saying, having faith, discipline, and just know why you're doing the business will totally help you to be successful in your business. Thank you. That's very good advice. And I think it resonates with what Diana has been saying. John Tex Nyagaka, Mama's son, mark me present always. Thank you so much for tuning in again. David Miendo Walunywa says, tell us. Davy, I hope we may get something. I hope I've told you and you've picked up something because it is possible. Lamek Omarimba says, kutoka Kisii Marani Bochi, watching you, thank you. Willie Bazu KE says, getting you loud and clear from Kitale, Birunda. And he's locked in. Ametumia comments kadhaa. Asanti. Trevor Lasty says, hi Cheryl. It's Trevor here, niko locked nikiwa Kikuyu. And youths in Kenya, for them to run a successful business, they should focus on their businesses and commit themselves to their business totally. So that it brings about an aspect of being intentional. And I like the comments that you've shared. If you have any more opinions, just share that and we'll sample that. But based on the two comments that we've gotten, kuna discipline na kuna intentionality.
Yeah.
Those are very important things. Even when it comes to even managing a business, managing the finances, how important is it to separate your business account from your personal account?
Very important, because when I started, I didn't separate it. I was like, imekuja, okay, let me use it for something else.
Yeah.
You'll find yourself at zero. You have to actually say, this is for business and this is for personal, and whatever you make for business, pay yourself and use that. Don't touch it unless it's important or an emergency, but keep business separate from your personal
expenses. And I think that also links back to what we're talking about. Once you've gotten a loan and you have to pay it back, you have to be intentional and disciplined for you to make the money for the loan and make your profits and, you know, even sustain yourself. And we were just talking about the market, because you've talked about the fact that being on the digital space, you are connected to everyone. And I assume your shop is purely online.
Yeah, it's purely online.
Have you focused just on Kenya, ama East Africa, or are you doing international shipments and stuff like that?
We're doing international shipments, and not, again, the dream was to be international, and I'm happy to have met clients who actually recommended some international clients for me. And yeah, we're not simply a Kenyan business. I should actually put international.
Yeah, like,
you know,
I'm
we're
a brand globally.
Yeah, because we recently, last month, we shipped items to New York. So we've shipped to Australia, we've shipped to South Africa. So we're not local, and it's not that my friends who bought these are purely strangers. Again, so like social media in itself, that's where it is right now.
And I love that you've given us those clear examples, because you've just mentioned you celebrated your 2nd anniversary recently. And the fact that you're shipping globally is encouragement for someone, because in 2 years, Shafika, Australia, because I think that's one of the farthest places on the globe.
Yeah.
So being online, having an online presence helps you just brand yourself and makes sure that you're not just confined to your local space.
True.
So would you encourage every business owner to have an online presence?
Yeah. I would, because for me, I don't have a physical business, and here we are. So if you're having a physical business and you feel like, I'm not sure, just do it, because someone will see you and will come to you like that. So just maintain it, because right now people are focused on their phones, the social media, like that's where it's at right now.
True.
Yeah.
And does it also help in terms of, because I'm aware personally, I'm not crazy about going to shop physically for most items. I just want to order it, get it to my doorstep, and let's move on with life. Do you feel like the audience has shifted, the customers have shifted towards ordering as opposed to physically shopping for items?
Yeah, I think after COVID, that's when the shift happened.
Yeah.
So now it's convenient and easy for them. So yeah, there has been a change given the social media and online ordering and stuff. Yeah.
So an online presence really adds value.
It does.
Now let me ask this question: do you have any employees? You are the company.
I am. Leave me too.
Yeah. So it's possible to run a business as a sole entrepreneur and just be every single person.
It's possible.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to adding more people, but then again, we've done it for 2 years. It's possible.
Yeah. I like that, because, you know, people also think about getting the human resource and then compensating these people. Monthly retainers gets expensive long term.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're saying you've been able to run this business by yourself, it's clearly very successful. You've done so much. And you're a testimony to someone who's probably uncertain about first the capital, the human resource, and all these different skills.
Yeah.
You're learning on the ground.
Yeah.
Let me ask, do you have a legal team? No, you do not.
I do not.
Do you think it's important for businesses to have a legal team or to consult with some legal teams?
Yeah. I feel like everyone needs a legal team, whether it's even personally. Yeah, but I haven't been able to get there yet. but we're looking forward to
doing that in future. So we should just stop hizi madoido nyingi, because you know when we're thinking about businesses we're like HR, sijui mtu wa tax, mtu wa sijui lawyer wangu in case watu wanikujie. And most people think about problems before they get to that point, before they even start the business and figure out these are the challenges that I encounter. So do you think starting, just doing it, did it help you more, or do you think if you planned it, it would have been better? What do you think about that?
I was planning for like 2 years. Come on. So like just start, because if you're waiting and like weighing the problems, they haven't happened yet, then why are you focusing on them? You just start, and whatever problems come, you'll handle them at that moment. Don't anticipate the problems, because if you anticipate them, they'll come. So you just focus on the positives. Again, believe in yourself, have discipline, be consistent, and yeah, it'll all work out.
I like that. And how do you stay relevant? How do you ensure that even if another company, another individual comes up with the same concept, maybe they even copy your idea, how do you ensure that you still stand out to your audience?
Staying true to myself, and believing in my work, and maintaining my own authenticity and my story, regardless of whether this person has come at it, they've copied and they're selling at a lower price. That doesn't concern me, because I know what I'm making. I know the quality of my work. So maintaining my quality, staying authentic, that's all that matters.
I really, really love that. Now, maybe as we are winding up, tell us about your support system. Your friends, your family, are they very supportive? Do they encourage you? Do they get you? Because, you know, sometimes African parents, they're like, you need to be at the office. You need to make this consistent money. Do your parents understand that this is what you want, this is what you're passionate about, and this is what you're pursuing?
At first, they may not understand it, but then it's our duty to talk to them, inform them, and tell them. And hopefully, they get to understand where we're coming from and support us, of which I'm blessed to have parents who are supporting me in my venture. Yeah, as well as my friends. I big up to my friends, honestly, because they're the ones who actually got me clients, because they're always posting my stuff, talking about it, and whenever they have my bag, they're always like selling. I got this from BidHive, you know. So like, I'm grateful and blessed to have a good support system for my business, honestly. Because without them, I would be nowhere.
I really like that, because there's watu wengi kwanza wazazi wako like sasa ni nini unafanya, and you know there's that expectation of you have to do this, because perhaps that's what they were used to, and they really don't understand the new industry and the new dynamic shift that we are experiencing. So going forward, what do you think about the future of BidHive? Let's talk about 5 years from now. If we come and have a sit down again, where do you visualize yourself being as a brand?
Okay, like for me, I feel like we might have opened some branches in the country, maintaining our international presence as well, and even maybe showing up for Fashion Week, you know, because now we are into making clothing pieces, so we're looking forward to that. I
like that. When you talk about Fashion Week, most people think about the European or the American Fashion Week, but Kenya iko. And I ran into some very interesting designers who they are students, but they make very intricate pieces and they stand out and they are so unique. So we're looking forward to that. Let's manifest that collectively. And would you consider taking on investors so that you can grow your business further? Would you consider expanding and taking on investors?
Yeah, I would. Very much so. Kufanya kazi peke yako ni tricky. I will definitely consider that.
Okay. So now did you for this year, did you have a goal? Did you have a vision? Did you have a plan? Unazo venye businesses nakonga Q1, Q2, Q3. I think right now we're in Q3. Did you have a plan like that? Were you looking at, in this first quarter, I want to accomplish this. In the second one, I want to accomplish that. Did you do that when you're starting the year?
Yeah, because, you know, when you're starting the year, you have to look at what happened last year, whatever you can do better this year. So, yeah, I did. I wouldn't say it here, but I have a clear plan on what I envisioned.
Na sasa umefika wapi? Inaenda venye inafaa mambo ili kuramba.
Of course, kuna kwanga some bumps on the road.
Risky,
But yeah, you just stay focused on the goal, regardless of whatever comes on the way. Yeah, just stay focused.
I love that because I think so many business owners experienced some shift, particularly since last month, because there's been so much going on in the country and, you know, globally. So you have to anticipate those challenges.
True.
So could you give us your parting shot? Because this has been such a wonderful conversation. Perhaps talk to a young entrepreneur who wants to get into business. Also, let us know where we can find you, where we can buy your bags. Can we order them? Can we make custom orders? Just let us know where we find you.
Okay, so for me, if you're starting your business, I'd advise you just do it scared. Don't anticipate that I want to be perfect. I want this and this to happen. Just do it as long as you have whatever you need at the moment right now. You do it. The rest will follow. Yeah. And you can find me on bidhive_ on Instagram, same for TikTok and Facebook. Yeah, and you can order custom designs, of course. Whatever you want me to make you a tree, I'm here. Yeah.
That will be a challenge. I'd love to see that. Yeah. But you can find her on her social media platforms at bidhive_. So reach out to her if you have any questions. Maybe you want to start and you're not sure where to start. Reach out to her if you want to make any orders. She has very beautiful, unique pieces that will make you stand out wherever you go. So let me sample some of the last comments that we have. This is still from Facebook. We have Boni Kunati, who was watching us. Sherry for Eldoret pia alikuwa na to watch. Ras Bashir Were wa Busia was also watching us live from Busia. Brilliant Boy says, Brilliant Boy 254, learn saving money. Even if it's smaller amounts, one day you will get more amounts of money. Thank you. I think that's very beneficial. And Michieka Enoch says, being disciplined and consistent. Thank you. Zeki Sextet says in. Thank you so much. And we had some comments from YouTube. Sorry. We were streaming live, and Melen Arasa says, my daughter Mary, I'm really proud of you. Keep it up. You will go far. Thank you. Thank you. We love a proud mom. Lydia Mabera says, kindly maintain this YouTube Be Live, especially on Monday from 7:30 Akinaka Lundu. Yo, for sure. Tutasema. And James Angienda says, Bidhive to the world. Thank you for that. Melen Arasa is also in Kenya. For one, to have a successful business, you must be self-determined. That's so true. Steve Martin says, master of her crafts. Yeah, kudos to her. And then Melen Arasa also Galpa. Who's Melen? Uni mom. Shout out to mom.
Shout out.
We really appreciate that. That has been such a wonderful show. I've learned so much, and I hope you guys have learned as well. If you've not, one thing I'll tell you, do it scared. Do it, just start, and then you'll figure it out along the way. Do not anticipate the problems. You will learn on the job. So many people want to start, they're not sure where to start. Just come up with a rough idea, come up with a rough draft and start from where you're at. If you have savings, it adds value. If you have a job, please maintain that so that you can sustain your business, and once your business is stable enough, you can branch into that solely. I hope you've taken away something from this conversation. We're going to come back again next week with another amazing conversation, so stay tuned for that. This episode will also go up on YouTube, so you can refer back to it whenever you need to, and we will have a repeat tomorrow between 1 and 2 p.m. so stay tuned for that. And we have so much more amazing content coming your way. We have some inspiration, we have movies, we have entertainment content. I'd like to thank the entire team because they're so amazing, from the technical to the TC to the amazing producer Timothy Tajeu. Thank you so much, and thanks to you for staying tuned. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you guys next week.